Hey, what's up guys? Luso here with Team D Plus Gaming. I'm here to give you my updated Harpie deck. And so with this, we got a couple of new cards in Joey's World. Harpie Dancer is kind of the big one. We finally got this printed in English. And so with that, it kind of changes the format of the deck a little bit from a rank 7 spam to more of a rank 4 spam with the possibility of 7 given the right hand. And so to start things off, we have 3 Harpie Dancer. With this, you can return a wind monster you control to your hand to normal summon an additional wind monster that turn, and it's treated as Harpie Lady on the field in the graveyard. And that gives you kind of really some insane synergy with the Mist Valley field spell, and so there's kind of a little engine with that that's kind of used to take advantage of that. Next up, we've got 3 Harpie Channelers still. You can pitch a Harpie card to special summon a Harpie from the deck. Becomes level 7 when there's a dragon on the field, and is treated as Harpie Lady on the field and in the grave. Next up, 3 Harpie Queen can be pitched to search Harpie's hunting ground. It's treated as Harpie Lady on the field and in the grave. And then to round out the Harpies, I've got 2 Cyber Harpie Lady and 1 Harpie Lady 1. I personally am still a big fan of Cyber Harpie Lady, just because with Cyber Harpie Lady it's a much better top deck in my opinion. Than Harpie Lady 1, just because it has 1800 attack as opposed to a 1600 with its own boost. Harpie Lady 1 helps you kind of increase your field presence, but to me it's something I'd much rather be reviving off of Hysteric Party than actually top decking and summoning. And so to me, I try and pitch Harpie Lady 1 as fast as possible with Channeler to the graveyard, and wait and kind of revive it late game for the extra attack power. And then to round out the Harpie monsters, 2 Harpie's Pet Dragon is kind of your main target to search with Channeler. So next up, 2 Reborn Tengu. With this, when one leaves the field, you can summon the other from the deck. And so that's kind of some insane advantage. You can take and bounce one with Dancer to special the other from the deck, and then you can resummon the first one. And so that's kind of a cool thing. It's a really fun engine. It adds a lot to the rank 4 spam ability of the deck. But it would be better when this is back to 3, which, I mean, could be as soon as next format. It could be a year or so from now. I don't know what Konami's thinking. I mean, right now we have 3 Malicious, so I think 3 Tengu isn't too far off. Also, we've got 1 Gen X Ally Birdman and 1 Zephyros. Birdman, you can bounce something to special summon him to the field. He's a tuner, so you can go into some level 7 synchros with him. Zephyros, you can bounce something back from the field to summon him from the graveyard. Paying 400 life points is not really that big of a cost, and he's a level 4 winged beast, so he kind of fits in with the rest of the deck. And then 2 Summoner Monks. Just because pitching a spell card is not really that big of a deal for you, especially with Hysteric Sign, and then being able to summon off of him is really good, especially Zephyros, so you can ditch him in the graveyard faster. So that's kind of it for the monsters. Then we've got your spells. I'm running 3 Hysteric Sign. It's really busted. You can take and activate it to add an Elegant Egotist to your hand, which Elegant Egotist allows you to summon a Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady's sister from the deck if you control a Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady's sister. So, I mean, use it for Harpie Lady, essentially. You've got 3 targets main decked for it. And so it's not really a dead draw. The only requirement, again, is having a Harpie Lady already on the field, which isn't too hard. Hysteric Sign, when sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you'd add 3 Harpie cards at the end of the turn. So there's a lot of broken plays that gives you insane hand advantage, and it's just really all around a good card. And then 2 Harpie Hunting Ground. And so for every time you summon a Harpie Lady, you get to take and just destroy a spell or trap on the field. Unfortunately, it's a mandatory effect, so if you don't have anything else, you could have to destroy that one, or Hysteric Sign if you want. There's a lot of ways around it, and to use it as your advantage. 2 Divine Wind of Mist Valley. So when a wind monster is returned from the field to the hand, you can special summon a level 4 or lower wind monster from your deck. And so this, with all of the things you have to bounce monsters back, is really good. And so with Harpie Dancer especially, I mean, those 2 work very well together and make that a really powerful rank 4 spam engine. Next up, you have Swallow's Nest. I cut it down to 1 with this build because you do have a little more searching already. but essentially you can turn any Harpie monster you draw into a Harpie channeler with it. And it's a quick play, which is nice. Also, we have a mind control, just because you can take control of one of your opponent's monsters, and then use Dancer or Zephyros or Birdman just to bounce it back to the hand, or you can overlay with it. I mean, there's a lot of plays that can help you out with. Next up, a Book of Moon and a Dark Hole to round out the spells. I mean, just kind of staples. Next up for the traps, 2 Hysteric Party. Discard a card. So essentially, you want to be discarding Sign or anything you don't need at the moment. To special summon as many copies of Harpie Lady Engrave as possible. I mean, they're all essentially Harpie Lady Engrave, so it's really easy to pull a full field out of this. So it's really nice. Next up, an Icarus attack. Or, sorry, 2 of those. Just use almost everything in here is a Winged Beast. And so you can set that, wait for your opponent to destroy it, and chain it. Next up, a Magical Hats. I thought about this a while back, but I didn't think it fit. But I mean, more recently, it's been getting a little more attention, and I definitely like it in the deck. Because essentially, if you have a monster, which is kind of the hardest part, you activate this, and you choose 2 non-monsters from your deck. And they're like tokens, they go face down, you shuffle together. But with that, it gives you a way to search Hysteric Sign, which is the really broken part. Because before, you didn't have a way to search Sign, and so, I mean, that was kind of the thing. You had to wait around to draw that to get the hand advantage. You can use Magical Hats to take and search out Sign specifically, and something else. And then at the end, they are sent to the graveyard, and so you get the advantage of, or the hand advantage from Sign. The next up, just some staples, 1 Compulse, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Bottomless, 1 Torrential, and 1 Solemn Warning. And so that rounds out the main deck for you guys. Next up, I'm going to go into the extra deck. So with having a Gen X Ally Birdman here, I've got 2 Synchros, Black Rose and an Ancient Fairy Dragon. They're both level 7s, they're both dragons, so I mean they just both fit really well in the deck. Black Rose nukes the field, which is great. Ancient Fairy Dragon can change out your Harpie's Hunting Ground field spell for your Mist Valley one to help you start going off, gain life points, so it's really good. The rest of the XYZs are kind of standard. Cowboy, Daigusto Emerald, you can take and use him to shuffle back your Tengus or your pet dragons, and then you get to draw a card afterwards. So I mean, he actually adds a lot to the deck, plus he's a wind. Maestro's your Book of Moon. Lightning Chidori, when this card's XYZ summoned, you get to target a set card your opponent controls and return to the bottom of the deck, detach from it, and then you get to you get to take a face-up card your opponent controls and put on the top of the deck. So your opponent goes really minus when you go into that. Ice Beast Zero Fane is a blanket negation of the entire field. Detach from that negates all face-up cards on the field's effects, including spell and traps. And then it gains 300 for each face-up card besides itself. So it's really good. Photon Pappy, change thing to attack position like Dracosac tokens. Queen Dragon Jin, can use this to revive dragons in grave, and then go with Channeler into other rank 7s. Key Beetle, just because you have a way to make it really fast, is you can go Summoner Monk into Zephyros, and then make a Key Beetle. Detach, you can target your Hysteric Sign, and so instead of Key Beetle being destroyed, you can just send Sign to Graveyard and go plus. And then for the 3 level 4s, I run a Pet Phantasmal Dragon, just because this is really insane. If your opponent doesn't have a way to deal with that, then they've essentially lost 6,000 life points. Because as long as this has materials, your opponent cannot target face-up Harpie cards you control, Harpie monsters you control, including this one, for effects, and they cannot be targeted for battle either, and he can attack directly. Then for your rank 7s, Big Eye to steal things, Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosac to take and detach for tokens, or take and destroy things. So I mean, he's really good. And then last but not least, number 74, Master of Blades. Just because your opponent doesn't always have ways to get around things without targeting, kind of same as Pet Phantasmal Dragon, he can be really hard to get over, plus he has 2,700 attack. And then the last thing I'm going to talk to you guys about, since this is Harpies, I've got 2 additional cards here. First off, Harpie Lady Phoenix Formation. This was one of the promos in Joey's World. This had a lot of potential to be good, but Konami nerfed it way too much. So it has awesome artwork, but I would not recommend playing this in a Harpie deck, just because the fact you can't special summon from your extra deck, and you can't conduct your battle phase after using this. I mean, it's just really too bad. It had a lot of potential. I mean, being a Harpie card, you could discard it for Channeler's Effect, but I mean, there's just too many negative sides to this, and so that's why it's not playable. And then next up, Phalanx Pike. I have yet to see anyone play this card, but if you just want to tech one of these in for fun, it does work really well. Because what it does is you equip it to a card, and then that card gains 900 attack for every copy of the same card in the graveyard. The cool thing with Harpies is they're all considered Harpie Lady on the field and in the graveyard. So this will give your monsters insane amount of attack. And so it's a really fun tech in the deck, but to me I was running out of room anyways, and this is kind of a win more card. I mean, it's a lot of fun when you pull it off, but there isn't always room for it. So those are just my thoughts on those two cards for you guys. Other than that, please give me any comments you want, any suggestions you have for the deck on how to revise it. I will definitely take those into consideration and get back to you guys on what I think. Anyways, as always, like and subscribe for more. Team D Plus Gaming, signing out.